What if I told you that in the future games wouldn't be played by gamers like you and me, but by an AI algorithm trained on data from players all over the world? Well, apparently that's where we could be headed with this patent that Sony has filed for. Welcome back to WhatsYourGame. If you're new here, please hit the like and subscribe button and let's continue. An article from Push Square that was released recently talks about Sony filing a patent for an AI assistant that can essentially assist you in a game or potentially just beat the entire game for you. You heard that correct. An AI assistant that could potentially beat the game for you, and it's not an exaggeration, as you'll see later on when I get into the actual patent. So according to the article, an interesting patent from Sony has recently been discovered, and it concerns the use of an AI assistant capable of providing contextual guidance while you're playing a game. As first reported by Boing Boing, Sony filed a patent for this concept back in April 2025, and it involves an AI ghost character that can help you get through in-game challenges by showing you what to do, giving you advice, or simply performing the actions for you. Now, we all know that AI was inevitably going to creep into the entertainment industry. We've already been seeing AI being used in TV commercials, promotional art for TV shows like Arcane. Unity have also implemented AI tools into their engine to be used by game developers. We have even had an AI being used for promotional art in video games like Clair Obscur Expedition 33. And so it really was just a matter of time before AI would be implemented into the player's gaming experience, and whatever your opinions are on AI, whether you're pro AI or anti AI, this isn't going away. We are all essentially living in the fourth industrial revolution, with AI being the front runner. Continuing, the article then goes on to say that the AI assistant would be trained on playthroughs of games by other users, as well as online resources like YouTube videos and Twitch streams. Using this information, it can identify specific game scenarios. Then, if you enable the AI assistant, it could manifest in the game as a ghost NPC, and depending on what you want to do with it, it could provide an overlay of what to do next. It show you the button prompts needed, have a conversation with you through natural language, or even complete segments of the game for you. Now, there are a whole bunch of ethical concerns in just that first sentence regarding the fact that the AI will be trained on users' data on various social media platforms such as YouTube and Twitch. I mean, this could be detrimental to walkthrough and Let's Plays channels on YouTube, as gamers would no longer really need to rely on those content creators to beat the game, because they'll just have an AI assistant in the game that can do it for them, essentially. And the truth is, I can't see a lot of people being happy about this, but I can't see them stopping it either. The article then goes on to say, the idea is that it would help players who are stuck or require additional assistance to complete games they would otherwise have to quit playing. This whole line to me is just crazy. I mean, to stop people quitting games that are too difficult, they would instead have them use an AI to help them. I mean, that's a pretty ridiculous statement in itself if you ask me. Also, we used to have a word for that, it was called get good, but now I guess those players would just use AI to beat the game instead. I mean, I can't imagine them getting much joy or sense of achievement in doing so. I mean, the whole purpose of playing games is to be enjoyed, and part of that enjoyment is patting yourself on the back for beating that boss you spent ages on, or beating a difficult level. Gaming to me is about pushing yourself and that competitiveness, and you don't get that when an AI assistant can just do it for you. We already have difficulty settings for those people that want to enjoy games for the story without the need to be good at them. And another question is, will this affect trophies for PlayStation? Or will using AI stop you earning the trophy altogether? Because that would at least give some players a reason not to use it. I'm assuming the next decade will just be full of AI playthroughs of games. There will probably even be official games made by Sony with full walkthroughs on their official channel, courtesy of the AI data that they've scraped from their consumers. And I understand that there are some gamers out there that just want to have a chill time when they play. And like I said, there are games for that, and all the more power to them. But for me personally, I won't be using this, simply because I grew up with games like Final Fantasy VII, and The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, and those games were not easy to beat. Okay, let's get into the actual patent itself now and see what it actually entails. Okay, so here's the patent. It's called Generated AI Ghost Player, simple self-explanatory title. The video game industry has seen many changes over the years. Users are now able to play video games using many types of peripherals and computing devices. Sometimes video games are played using a game console, where the game console is responsible for processing the game and generating the interactive input presented on display screens. Other times, video games are played in streaming mode, where a server or servers execute the game remotely and users provide input over a network-connected device. Yeah, okay, so that's pretty self-explanatory. It's just talking about consoles and streaming games online. nothing to really talk about here. Although video game technology has seen many advances, some players find themselves in need of assistance. Games become very complicated, so players who are not experts oftentimes quit playing or find it hard to complete tasks. Players are able to do research for the game or even look up prior gameplays on the internet sites, but that process is time consuming and many times not very relevant to tasks and or scenarios currently being encountered by the player. I mean, yeah, do people really quit hard games or difficult games? I mean, that's the question, isn't it? I mean, for me personally, no. I don't know why people would buy a difficult game. I mean, surely you would know it's quite difficult. Like, I mean, it'd be like someone buying Dark Souls and complaining that it's too difficult. In this day and age where you can pretty much find anything online and like nothing's a secret, you can't really hide anything. Like spoilers are everywhere, so there's no way you're buying a game just for the hell of it. I mean, we're not talking like we're back in the 90s, early 2000s. You pick up a game case from a store and think, oh, that looks interesting, and you read the back and then you think, oh yeah, I'll take that, I'll try that home. But it's not, it's not like that. With the internet, you can see everything. There's trailers all over the place, there's gameplay all over the place. I mean, you kind of know what games you want to buy, and you kind of know the gameplay that you're getting yourself into. I don't know. I mean, if you're quitting a game because it's too hard, then that's on you, you know what I mean? But is that a problem if people find games too hard? Unless they want to complete the game, unless they really want to complete it. But then if they do really want to complete it, then they'd have that, tenacity to want to complete the game. And people could quit for various reasons. It might not even be just that the game's too hard. It could just be, simple things like, this game's not my cup of tea, or I didn't think, this game wasn't what I thought it was, and just give it away or just stop playing it altogether. There's various reasons people quit playing games. I mean, so I don't know, I can't really say. Maybe some people do quit games because they're too hard. Again, I don't personally. So to assist with this problem, some solutions have included the use of a character that a user can follow. However, the character is usually a graphic image or outlined image of a prior player that played the game, and the user must follow the character watching the moves that occurred, including moves and interaction that is not relevant to the user's current gameplay scenario. This is not, however, very useful for real-time assistance to a player that is encountering some difficulty with a specific scenario of gameplay or along the player's specific gameplay path. This is because the character does not know specifically what the player is playing or the context of the user's gameplay. Further, the character is typically only performing actions of one prior player. Further yet, the character is only presented for general game scenarios that relate to the game, not in relation to the context of the player's current gameplay. Yes, this is like essentially referring to ghosts, like in Mario Kart or Crash Team Racing or something, where you'd follow the ghost and see what it's doing in order to compete to get faster times on the track. But they're claiming it's not actually useful, and I'm assuming because it's not showing you what techniques are being used and at what places, etc. I get that, especially with games like Crash Team Racing, as there are certain techniques that take time to learn and for you to get good at, and I've had to watch tutorials on YouTube to understand like air braking and all that technical stuff, which inevitably helped me get better at the game. But I don't see how an AI is going to teach people that stuff, because some techniques and shortcuts were exploits and, not intended by the developers. So, like, will an AI understand that? Or will it say, sorry, I cannot assist with that as it goes against guidelines or something? Because AI already does things like that on ChatGPT. Will this be any different? I mean, likely not, right? If someone's playing the game and using like techniques that weren't intended, is the AI going to understand that? It's a valid question, I think. The likely scenario is no, it won't. It will tell you, no, the devs didn't intend for that, so I can't comply with that, and you'll have to end up going on YouTube anyway. We'll have to see, I don't know. So continuing on, the overlay is in the form of a ghost character. The ghost character may be an outline character, a shadow character, or a fully animated character, i.e. not in the form of a ghost. Well, yeah, obviously, it's not like it's going to be Casper the Friendly Ghost, is it? Anyway, in some embodiments, the ghost character can interact with the player. In some embodiments, the player can ask the ghost character for assistance in natural language queries. In other embodiments, the ghost character can be represented as a character from a movie, a character figure from another game, or a user-generated character. In another embodiment, the ghost character can be represented as a custom character of the player. Broadly speaking, the ghost character provides the assistance due to its training to achieve from learning game scenarios and interactivity from training footage accessed from multiple disparate sources. So I assume by that, they mean there will be skins available to choose from, like PlayStation exclusive characters for your AI, such as like Astrobot or Kratos from God of War. Yeah, and I could see Sony potentially selling you skins to buy for your AI assistant, and it's also going to be their way of incentivizing players to use the AI. Okay, and finally, let's go over what some of the mode settings are. So the mode setting defines the type of assistance provided by the ghost character during the ghost assistance. The mode setting is configured to be switched during the game session. Switching to another mode setting changes the type of assistance provided by the ghost character. So the mode settings are selected from one of a story mode, a combat mode, an exploration mode, and a full game mode. Other modes may be defined based on one or more new or custom narratives chosen from options or provided/defined by the user. Okay, so here we go. This is actually talking about the settings now. So we covered this already. It's completionist mode that I'm most concerned about. However, the part where it talks about custom narratives defined by the user, I mean, that could mean you could give the AI specific options, say like to do custom tasks for you, like farming XP or materials, which is, one of the only worthwhile things on that list. Anyway, that about covers all the main points, so let me get into my overall thoughts on this AI patent. So first of all, the big question is, will this technology really be a good thing? This could potentially enforce a generation of lazy dependent gamers where there won't really be any real purpose in playing the game yourself. When everything can just be completed for you, what's the point in playing? This could change what gaming actually means in the coming years, and it could lose all sense of purpose. Gamers are potentially going to become spectators. It won't be no different to watching Let's Plays on YouTube, except the fact that you will be paying money for a copy of the game yourself in order to do so. And I honestly don't think it's an exaggeration to say that. Now hear me out, I'm not anti-AI. I think AI has the potential to transform humanity in great ways, like in medical science, for example. But when it's being used to create convenience, as in Sony's case, then that's where it can become a bad thing. We don't want to take away people's abilities to think and do things for themselves, and that's essentially what this AI will be doing. And again, no, you don't have to use this mode, it is optional, but the point is that it's always there. So the temptation to want to use it when you're stuck is always going to be in the back of your head, all the time. Or it could be that Sony's AI will recognize that you've been in an area for a certain time and might prompt you to use it for help. And using it that one time may not hurt, yeah? But eventually it's going to rewire your brain, and you could end up relying on the AI again and again. And particularly for the new generation of gamers, their gaming experience is going to be vastly different from, say, a millennials, or even a Gen Z for that matter. I mean, just like millennials' gaming experience was different from the boomer generation. But the only difference in that respect was mostly graphical compatibilities and RAM size versus what AI could potentially do in this day and age. It's going to change gaming forever. And personally, I don't think it's going to be a good thing. Obviously this idea is just an idea, right? And we don't really know what it will be like if Sony do ever implement this into PlayStation. So this is like entirely just speculation on my part. But from the sounds of it, from what I've read, this is not going to be a good thing for gaming overall. It's like knowing cheat codes in a game. You don't have to use them, but chances are if you do know them, you probably will use them at some point. And I've done this myself, particularly with games like The Sims or early GTA games, and it's fun at first, but overall, having everything unlocked or infinite health, it just makes the playthrough hollow and boring. Cheating, it just takes the fun away from gaming, from my experience. It's not satisfying when you get things without having earned them. There's no sense of achievement. There's also that guilt of cheating yourself out of actually putting in the work to unlock those things, the way the developers intended you to do so. And that's what this AI patent essentially is. It's a cheat mode, right? It's always going to be there whenever you want to use it. And I don't want to be completely negative, so I'll add some positives here. The fact that you could potentially tell the AI to farm XP or materials for you while you're away doing something else could, free up a whole lot of time for gamers who have busy lives. So I think that is a good thing. But overall, in my opinion, the cons outweigh the pros. That's just for me at least, Anyway, I've been rambling on for so long now. So let me know what you think of this in the comments. If you made it this far, you have my gratitude. It really means a lot to me. And also, if you did make it this far, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel for more of my thoughts on upcoming news like this and just general gaming related content.